Jai Gurudev, welcome to this new episode of Bliss Becoming and Being Guru Siyag Yoga. This is part 35, and I have with me my co host Manju Chabra.
Jai Gurudev.
Yeah, so in these sessions, as you are already, many of you are already aware that we have been discussing about Guru Siyag Yoga in English language. And Manju, there is some echo that is coming.
Okay, I'll just switch off my.
Perhaps, maybe it will go away after some time. So we in these sessions we have been discussing about Guru Siyag Yoga in English language. So there are a lot of people in our country who would like this program to be in English. So the intention is to spread the word of Guru Siyag and to create a community of Guru Siyag disciples who speak English. So that community is definitely having members from India and abroad as well. So Jai Gurudev to everyone. And today we will be continuing our session on the lines of the frequently asked questions of practitioners that are being asked uh, at various platforms, and many a times practitioners have been reaching us too as well, and they have certain basic questions. So we have covered a few basic questions in our previous sessions. So those of you who would like to know the basics, they can watch those sessions for sure. So today, Manju, I would like to ask you that since a lot of us already know that Guru Siyag Yoga is a method of spiritual transformation, and this method is a very powerful method, and Gurudev has guaranteed that those of you who would chant the mantra, that is the Guru given mantra, and would do meditation, so they just have to do this part. Rest, everything Gurudev will take care, and by doing this meditation and chanting the mantra, uh, disciples can cure all their ailments at physical level, mental level, emotional level. And we somehow have been discussing how doing Guru Siyag Yoga, accepting Guru Siyag as our Guru, has been helping practitioners in a very multifaceted way. So, from curing diseases to gaining clarity in life to getting help for specific problems. So, the way Guru Siyag help us is uh, is is something that can't really be fully captured. Meanwhile, practitioners are practicing Guru Siyag Yoga, and new practitioners, especially, have certain doubts, have certain questions. And many are times when those questions are not answered in a way uh, that clarifies their doubt, they feel demotivated and they are not able to practice Guru Siyag Yoga. So that is why we have been discussing about the questions and the philosophy that got clarified to us, and in fact to participants, or we can say disciples of Guru Siyag who carry on with this practice. They are able to understand more about it themselves through their own experiential learning. Meanwhile, we are here to perhaps serve practitioners who are still having various doubts, having various questions. So, in today's session, I would like to ask you that can someone else chant the mantra for some other person, basically. So,
Mhm.
suppose can I chant this mantra for my son or for my friend? So, what is the protocol like?
Yeah, thank you so much, Garima, to ask this question, which I believe a lot of new participants or sadhaks might be having in their mind. To start with, I would like to reiterate perhaps that this meditation of Guru Siyag Yoga is such a simple meditation, such a doable path to follow, and it is not related to any religious. I mean, we are not kind of asking anyone to change their religion or something like this. It is such a neutral way of human transformation, and such an easy way of doing it, which is just meditating twice a day for 15 minutes and doing mantra jap, which is non-stop recitation of mantra while you're doing your chores, doing any other thing. And there is no fee, there is no protocols to follow. At this time of the day you can do this, you have to take bath, you cannot chant it in the bathroom or something like that. None of those things to follow, except that you don't have to have a full stomach while you're meditating. That's the only thing you
Yeah.
need to follow. So rest of there are no do's and don'ts, such a simple way. And you can only understand it by doing and believing. So we urge you here on from this platform to try, or first to ask yourself a question, that whatever I have been doing, how has it helped me? How has it helped you to move on to your path to maybe gain some clarity, get better health, any of those things. And if you really still feel there is a gap, or you still feel there is much you could have attained or you can attain, try this thing for a month, 2 3 months, and see what results this particular path gives you by just chanting this mantra around the clock and doing meditation twice a day. That's it. So just try it out. If it serves you, it's good and great. And if it doesn't, then there was no fee which you paid, or there was
Yeah.
no commitment you had made that you cannot go on to your earlier path or whichever you want to. And as Gaurima described that, I mean, it's such a great way. There's a philosophy behind it, and we can't just tell you what happens. People come here because they have ailments. People come because they have depression, or there's some medical problem or some financial problem or any of those issues. And
Yeah.
yeah, and they benefit a lot from here. And then the transformation, I mean, the real path kind of unfolds, and you'll be surprised how it unfolds in front of you. So yeah, that was a brief background I wanted to share. However, when you ask this question, that can anyone else meditate on, I mean, if I can meditate on anyone else's behalf, to answer that question, yeah, yes, one can do it, but there has to be a specific, particular condition attached to that, which can be, the child is too young, and the child cannot sit in a particular, I mean, he is like how children are, they are not like less than 3 4 years old. You can't ask them to sit in a particular place, or they can't do it in a particular pronunciation, and they won't understand these things. And if you have to chant for some medical reason or for whatever reason, definitely as parents you can do it. And
Yeah.
you have, that is one of the conditions. The other condition may be that, some person who's not well and who's not in a condition that he or she can chant or meditate, you definitely can do it. And the other can be if there is some disability or mental impairment, that cognitive thinking is not happening, and that person cannot understand the, although physically is fine, but he cannot understand the depth of what is being told to them, can do it. And some people, there are some conditions where the person is in state of coma, or where obviously he or she cannot recite it and is on the bed, and in a coma state he's not even conscious. So in that particular condition, definitely one can meditate on that person's behalf. So there is a typical condition in which you can go ahead and do it. And the way of doing it perhaps is that you can just pray to Gurudev, and ask Gurudev to kind of just that I want to meditate on this person's behalf, express the concern that, I just pray for this person to get well soon or whatever. I mean, whatever you want to say, and then though Gurudev knows everything, but you have to set your intention. Perhaps that is the
Yeah.
real objective behind it, and then you can just kind of go ahead and meditate on that person's behalf, and you can continue to chant mantra by saying that, this is for this particular purpose. So definitely one can chant on someone's behalf, one can meditate on someone else's behalf in a particular condition, and you can also pray to Gurudev for resolving that issue and going ahead. So Gaurima, I also feel it's kind of sharing your obviously in that specific condition we're just sharing our you know I would say, if we talk in monetarily point of view, like we're sharing our um, assets, or I feel chanting is really an asset. We kind of put it into our um, I would say bank, in a spiritual bank. Perhaps that's my interpretation, and sharing it with people who we can do it with, so that's how I
Yeah.
take it. But definitely such a nice way, and Gurudev is like that father of ours, where however you perceive him, I perceive him as my father who's taking care of me, and who's always carrying me in his lap, so that I do not get even a streak of that heat, or that streak of anything wrong happening to me, and he just takes me away from that path. So it depends on how you perceive, each one of you perceive Gurudev, but definitely he's there to bless us, to take care of us, and that's the faith we need to have, and that's the kind of surrender we need to be in that state. So I feel that's exactly how we have to perceive, and we can go ahead and meditate for others also, because he is our father and he listens to whatever we have to say. Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. So actually, since as you explained that how Gurudev is connected to us, and is our he is the supreme father, supreme force, and is aware of our concerns. So if I'm concerned about my child or some friend or some relative or somebody who is not well, so if I'm concerned, then my concerns are Gurudev concerned. And yes, we can meditate for people. So Manju has emphasized that, there has to be some condition attached to that. Like if somebody is sick or the child is very small, and if and maybe if somebody is doing some substance abuse, so even that person is not in that, that in that right mind. So, and that person might be close to you, so you may be feeling very concerned. So rather than worrying about that person and losing your sleep or sweat, so rather than engaging in such uh, behavior which do not really help you or do not really help that person, it's 100 times or 1,000 times better idea that you can chant for such a person. You can pray for their well-being. You can pray for their total well-being. That means their spiritual well-being, and that involves them to go near to the divine as well. So we can have such prayer for these people, whosoever we want to chant the mantra and do the meditation. But at the same time, I hope it is commonsensical to understand that it's not a good idea to chant for others, like who can chant for themselves. Like I, start chanting for Manju, or for somebody that I want to take care of, because that's like a bank balance that you just explained, that we we accumulate that bank balance of mantra to clear out our karmas, and there are various other things also that are happening. And moreover, it's not humanly possible to progress on this path if we keep on chanting for others. So please do it judiciously, only when it is really needed, and when the person really needs that help and uh, is not able to chant Gurudev's name. Because you will find many people who are close to you, who are in your family, who will not be convinced to do Guru Siyag Yoga, who will not be convinced uh, who to accept Gurudev as their guru. So we can't be chanting for everyone. So yes, we can pray for everyone whenever we feel disturbed about anybody. We can pray for them, but yes, there are times when a person really needs that help. Either they are really, really sick, they are hospitalized, or as some conditions that we just discussed a few moments back. Then, yes, the best thing for you to do is chant the mantra for them, meditate for their health and well being. So, this is something that can be done. And I have heard guru disciples say that if you're meditating for your small child, then you can touch that child also while you are meditating for that child's well-being or health and all that. So there are certain things that you can do, and maybe such things come up for you intuitively. So there are no superstitions as such suggested in this practice at all. But at the same time, the more surrendered you will be to Gurudev, the more you will aspire to build that connection with him. So those of you who would like to understand and then only place their faith, so naturally, on this path, somehow surrendering first pays off better than that aspiration of understanding everything through the mind first, and then only placing our trust in something. Because our mind has failed us many a times before, also. So there is no human being whose mind has been working perfectly 365 days a year and 24 hours a day. So we are already suffering a lot because of this malfunctioning of the mind
Hmm.
at at so many
Absolutely.
levels. So maybe those of you who are keen to progress, so they can drop that analysis and that analytical thinking and deliberately cultivate trust, faith, and surrender. And then maybe after 2 3 months, 4 months, they may check for themselves that what is their understanding about life, about their progress that they have been doing in terms of um developing that thinking in themselves, because a lot of changes would happen, and we have been discussing these in our previous sessions, that how doing Guru Siyag Yoga will change your thinking, how you will start processing differently. Things that were disturbing you in the past may not be disturbing you that much once you are into Guru Siyag Yoga. So you will be finding these changes as some small proofs. So these changes are really small proofs or big proofs, whatever you take it. But they will only be visible to you when you will uh, have that sincerity, have that surrender, and you will drop that mindset wherein you are doing something like this with a skeptical mind. So If your auto mode is very analytical and very prone to find things that are not right, finding faults and all that, so that mindset may not really work well here and can in fact become a barrier. So again, coming back to the question, so yes, we can chant on else's behalf, but at the same time, chanting of the mantra is critical, and there is a massive work that is happening when we are into Guru Siyag Yoga, because the promise of Guru Siyag is that this lifetime will become our last lifetime as a soul that is incarnating again and again, again and again in physical form. So that means that all of your karmas that hook you to these reincarnations, all of these karmas will be processed and dissolved and nullified once and for all, and then you will be truly liberated. So it's a lot of work, and we can't hardly put all that in words. So whatever is happening inside your being is totally out of your awareness, or at least most part of it is out of your awareness. Your mind can't grasp it. So, as a practitioner of Guru Siyag Yoga, those of you who are already practicing, they know that involuntary yogic movements happen, or vibrations happen, or and there are so many unique aspects of yoga that you may experience while you are practicing Guru Siyag Yoga. So, all in all, you can't fully understand what Guru Siyag Yoga is by not practicing it. Start practicing it, and then you will slowly and slowly start to understand it. And if you feel as your inner guidance suggests you, if you want to chant the mantra or meditate on someone else's behalf, if there is a very compelling reason to do it, or if you are very 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 concerned about somebody and you just can't help but think or worry about that person, then yes, it's better to chant for that human being. And you can chant for world problems as well, that 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 you deeply wish that everything works well in the world. So you can do that as well if your inner guidance suggests you. But otherwise, chanting of the mantra is a highly precious thing, high output activity, to put it in human form. And it's best to do it for yourself. And so that's about it. Yeah, Manju.
Yeah, definitely. And definitely, Gurudev said, and I would urge all of you, whosoever is watching this video of ours, to know more about Guru Siyag Yoga or experiences of people. Do visit our website, gurusiyagyog.org, and also go onto the YouTube channel, wherein you will find videos of other sadhaks, who have been uh, practicing Guru Siyag Yoga, which is Guru Siyag Divine is our YouTube channel. You can go there and listen to these people who have experienced transformation, who have experienced change in their thinking, who've got clarity, who have got their medical issues resolved, who have got there were some spiritual issues which are like those which we can't explain, like some negative energies were
Energy.
trapping them, were not trying to let them do what they had to do in spite of following simple life. So all those issues were resolved. So rather than be telling you about it and you feel that we are trying to convince you, hear it from the original people, who hear it from those people who have gone through this, and listen to them how their journey has been, and you will be amazed. Maybe we can't even describe all those issues here, what people have gone through.
Yes.
And Yeah, and then you will know what it means. And the simple path is just chanting of mantra, round the clock, and just doing meditation twice a day for 15 minutes. People who are in hot places can do it for 15 minutes. People who are in the cold places can extend it to, say, about half
Okay.
an hour or so. But yes, you have to put it on priority. And if you put it on priority with surrender, definitely things will happen. And it is like Gurudev, you can listen to Gurudev's speech where he has been talking about yoga is the union and how human transformation takes place, and to get the moksha, which is the ultimate thing which we all human people are going, we want to go to that state. We have to have our body has to be rid of disease. So definitely if you step into Guru Siyag Yoga and you start doing your meditation, the first and foremost important thing which will happen is that your disease, your mental issue, I mean, I would say mental dis-ease, where we are not at ease with ourselves, which is through because of anxiety, because of restlessness or overthinking. These are also nowadays, I would say, the recent disease which are related to our mental issues. And we all are suffering to some or the other extent, not maybe towards the higher extent. So because of which we experience a lot of emotional turmoils. So by just doing meditation and mantra jap, these things are taken care of. There's such simple science which we can't even try to reason out, and it is only possible if you are able to do and follow through, that you will experience this transformation in yourself.
Yes.
So we urge you to go to the website, listen to the videos on the YouTube, or reach out to us or post your questions here, and we will definitely get back to you. Or you can message us on our WhatsApp numbers, or just reach out to us, and we will definitely will let you know how to go proceed ahead. Though we are covering a lot of information, the basic information here also in our videos. Every time we try to go through the process again and again, because that's how we learned it. For me, I would just share that I was to listen to all these things all the time, but it was once in a while, particular thing used to just I used to just get awakened to that. Okay, so I have to put Gurudev on priority. I listened to it
Yeah.
umpteen number of times, but when it clicked, and then there was like you have to do non-stop chanting. I listened to it many times, but it clicked, that at the back of. So I started making some I would say I started focusing on doing mantra jap. Most of the time I used to catch myself not doing jap, you know so small things. And we just think that Gurudev will make us do chanting. Definitely his grace is required, but our will has to be there. We have to express our will that we want to do mantra jap, we
Yes.
want to be there, we are surrendered. At least that will has to be there. And definitely Gurudev's grace is required for us to travel on this path. It's not that we can't imagine that we just kind of sit for meditation and everything will happen, and we'll just get into a trance meditative pose, and that's what's supposed to happen. No, it's a sequential step, because that's a particular muscle which we are building, right? So we have to just show up, we have to sit for meditation, and we have to be present in the class so that Gurudev can shower his grace, I would
Yeah.
say, isn't it? So yeah, it's a very simple thing. Beyond whatever we are saying, it's all that simple that it's unbelievable to even think that it is so simple to follow. And that is what attracted me in this, in Guru Siyag Yoga. That's such a simple Gurudev. I mean, uh, it was very difficult initially to have known a simple guru who is so simple to look at, who has know that expensive attires, or that big bang around him, which only talks about how that flauntness was not there. It was so difficult to imagine a Gurudev like, with that kind of simplicity and such simple process for you to get
Yes.
into transformational journey. So that is what was the most attractive thing which got me into this. And definitely one more thing which helped me was that being in constant touch with sadhaks, like suppose me, Gorima, and there are two more people. We are a group wherein we talk about how we are progressing. We are into that satsang, that community where we kind of talk about our experiences. We share what we
Yeah.
are going through, and that keeps us uplifted. So similarly, listening to Gurudev's speech, listening to other people's experience really helped us. So you also go ahead, but definitely not with a competition that if this particular sadhak had those many kriyas, the kriya is not happening to me. He is the favorite of Gurudev. No, we all have our own path, and like if parents don't differentiate between their kids. Similarly, our Gurudev will not differentiate between us. It is only our karmas and our level of surrender and faith which will ascertain our progress or our attachment or our, I would say, relationship with Gurudev. So please do not compare yourself. It's just, we are just encouraging you to be in that space where you listen to people and believe, because you're just starting. And definitely have a community around you, your friend or anyone else, so that you feel supported. And definitely we are doing this FAQs and other series wherein you can listen to us, post questions, reach out to us, or go and visit our website to know more about it. Just don't be there and just assume things. Go out there, a lot of resources available, ask questions and find out your answers, which can help you to progress on this
Absolutely.
path. Yeah,
So what you are trying to say is become actively engaged
yeah,
with Guru Siyag Yoga. So that's a very important point that you have mentioned, because we are actively engaged in all the things, and then suddenly we start practicing Guru Siyag Yoga, maybe after watching a YouTube video, or maybe after somebody's recommendation. But then we are not doing anything beyond that. We are just uh, analyzing that is it really helpful or not, or what will happen. So what you're suggesting here is that once we actively engage with the practice, and so that is something that will help us progress on this path, and you're absolutely right in sharing. So because you said as new practitioners, we were always feeling a lot of support by watching YouTube videos wherein practitioners share about their experiences. Yes, so watching at the videos wherein practitioners are sharing about curing of their illnesses and the help that they have received, they do build our motivation. And then partnering with somebody with whom you can discuss on a daily basis or on a weekly basis about your meditation practice, your thoughts, your feelings, so that's definitely helpful as well. So yes, so that's so true. So basically, make it your priority. So after all, you just need to meditate twice a day, that too for only 15 minutes. So that's not much. And chanting of the mantra, so we understand that while you are writing something, maybe initially you will not be able to chant the mantra on any chore which demands some bit, even if some bit of attention. But slowly and slowly, somehow you will become more adept to it. So whatever you do, do it lovingly, because we do not have to chant the mantra like, oh, so this is such a task. We don't have to do that. So we chant the mantra because we decide that this is the best thing to do in this moment. So that must be the reason. So if you are doing something which really hooks you mentally, so obviously you can't chant the mantra at that time. But at times wherein you are doing something and that is not really mentally that engaging, so at such time, during such times, you can chant the mantra. And there are some people, some practitioners that I have had the opportunity to understand how they practice. So they take a lot of pains to chant the mantra. So even that is fine. So they have they they specifically sit somewhere to chant that mantra. So so basically, there are some foundation things that we have to follow as it is, like meditating twice a day only, that too not more than 30 minutes, at least not in countries wherein the temperature is like India or more.
Yeah.
North India
North India.
and
Exactly.
summers, yeah, or rainy season. So that means some countries wherein the temperature is below 20 degrees. So
Yeah.
these folks can perhaps meditate for more than uh, 15-20 minutes in one go.
Yeah.
Rest. Those people who
Definitely.
are having temperatures above 30 or something. So 15 minutes a day is enough.
Absolutely. And I would also
So
like to, yeah,
yeah, so this is the thing. Yeah, I was just
yeah.
concluding that. Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to add one more thing that which we have been obviously we'll keep on repeating a lot of things in every episode, and that is
Yeah.
important. Yeah, and we are just bringing those learnings here in this episodes and going forward. Is that once you become a practitioner, um, you want to tell someone else about this, definitely go ahead. But the mantra you can only share in Gurudev's voice. It cannot be that I recite that mantra to anyone else. That's not possible. The initial diksha or the initiation would happen only in Gurudev's voice. You can tell the process, you can tell do's and don'ts, which is like just not having full stomach. That's the only thing one needs to take care of. And the ladies can do it any time of the month. I mean, all the 30, 31 days they can do. So there are no restrictions per se. You can talk about all that. However, the mantra has to be given or by in Gurudev's voice. You can take the audio and pass it on, or you can sit with the other person to whom you're telling about the mantra and show him the video or the audio and do it together. It has to be in Gurudev's voice. That is very important. You can't write it and give it to him. It has to be in Gurudev's voice. Only then the initiation would happen. That's the only thing you have to take care of. Yeah.
Yes. Again,
So
here also under special circumstances. So those circumstances are very rare because these days everywhere internet is available, YouTube is available. So we can easily make sure that the person hears the mantra in Gurudev's voice. But then if somebody immediately needs that mantra and you do not have your phone, that person doesn't have a phone, and you are in a desert wherein nobody else is there, or you are stranded on an island and network is not coming and all that, then under such extreme cases, when you have no option like that available with you, then you can share the mantra in your voice. So but not at all in as a general this thing, okay, I'll tell you the mantra. No, not at all. That's a rare exception, that rarest of the rare exception, that when you will be sharing the mantra in your voice. Yes, so today we have discussed a few points, and then we discussed about that, can somebody chant the mantra on someone else's behalf. And now, perhaps in this video, those of you who are not yet aware of the mantra, who haven't got their diksha from Gurudev, So, in a short while, we will be playing the video in which Gurudev will tell a brief about Guru Siyag Yoga, and then he will share the divine mantra in his own divine voice. So, the moment you will hear that mantra, you will get initiated. So, once that video finishes, that video is hardly 3 minute long or something. So, once that video finishes, we will be meditating for 15 minutes. And Manju, can you please share certain
Sure.
basics around, how to practice? What is the procedure basically to go into meditation? So please share
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah, definitely. So once you listen to Gurudev's in Gurudev's voice, the divine mantra, please listen to it attentively because the pronunciation has to be correct. You will be
Yes.
chanting the mantra without moving your lips or tongue. It has to be inside the way we read our book, without moving our, we just listen, we just read our book, right, without moving our lips or our tongue. Similarly, you have to chant this mantra without moving your lips or your tongue inside, from inside you have to do that. And for sitting for meditation, you have to sit in a comfortable place where you have some space around, just in case if you have some kriyas are the involuntary movements. Some people like shake, just go up back and forth, or some people just put they have this neck, neck goes around, just because it takes care of some issues if we have. So kundalini shakti, which is the divine power inside us, it would just tell our body what it needs, what exercise it needs, or what kriya has to be done, so that that particular ailment or whatever is there is a blockage that opens up. So very subtle. Some people can have subtle movements. Some people can just start crying, or some people can just start
Yeah.
laughing, shouting, whatever. So it is only if shouting might happen. I'm just discussing few things. Might happen just because there's some pent up emotions which want to come out. So there may be few kind of movements. So sit in a place which is comfortable, which has some space around, and then you can face any side. I mean, it's not that you have to do it towards east, west, whatever is comfortable. You shouldn't be full stomach. That's the only thing you need to take care of. And then you just look at Gurudev on the third eye, look at his picture, and imagine him here in the third eye, and pray to Gurudev for 15 minutes of meditation or whatever time you want to ask, and then start chanting the mantra. You'll be amazed that after 15 minutes only your
Yes.
eyes would open. And if there is some kriya, it will stop after 15 minutes. It would not carry forward. And in case if you want to stop that movement, don't try to kind of not I mean, if there's some movement, don't try to push yourself that that movement doesn't happen. Don't do that. In case if you're not comfortable, however, those kind of issues don't arise. Kundalini Shakti will do those kind of movements which are fine for you, which you can take care of. And so those movements will stop after 15 minutes. So it's so simple.
Absolutely.
So here, Gaurima will be playing the video, and just listen to the mantra in a proper way and recite it in the same right pronunciation. And look at Gurudev in his on the third eye, and pray to him for 15 minutes and start your meditation. So we have Baba Shri Gangainath Ji, who is Gurudev's guru, and just we can start now Gurudev's video. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yoga mean Yoga means a union of the soul with God or the universal consciousness force. What are the benefits of Siddhi Yoga? Siddhi Yoga heals, cures, or frees the body from any physical illness, adds various forms of cancers, diabetes, arthritis, asthma, and even genetic disease like hemophilia. In the case of disease such as AIDS, which attacks the entire body, The patient may experience internal kriyas like sensation or heat, electricity or tingling. According to Siddha Yoga philosophy, the divine power awakened by the enlightened Guru gets transmitted through his blissful voice to the listeners, irrespective of language spoken by the Guru. This divine power transmissions occurs smoothly and remain unaffected by the language being used. Regular practice of Siddha Yoga strengthens the immune system. The Kundalini acts as a protective shield of the immune system and wards off the onslaught or recurrence of any disease. Impact of Kundalini awakening. The Kundalini makes the practitioner perform kriyas that are specific to his needs. With this cleaning, the practitioner is cured of all kinds of chronic and even terminal disease such as HIV, AIDS, cancer, arthritis, etc., and genetic disorder like hemophilia. Mental application too are completely cured and stress is completely relieved. Cling, Krishna, cling, 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 cling, Krishna, cling.
Jai Gurudev, everyone. So please come out of your meditation. So thank you for joining us today, and we hope to see you again in our next session. Jai Gurudev.
Jai Gurudev.
Yeah, Manju, you want to say Jai Gurudev?
Yeah, Jai Gurudev.